Every one of these is being used on you this week by people who want your money, your time, your yes. You either learn to see the wires, or you keep paying for things you never decided to want. In your last 3 conversations, somebody ran a move on you. Not a villain twirling a mustache. A coworker, a salesperson, someone you actually like. And it worked, because the whole point of these moves is that you don't feel them land. Let's start with the one you've definitely felt. Chapter 1, the mirror. Watch a great salesperson sometime. You lean back, a beat later they lean back. You talk slower, they slow down. You cross your arms, theirs find their way across too. It looks like nothing. It feels like this person just gets me. That feeling is the product.
Psychologists call it the chameleon effect. We unconsciously copy the people around us, and the part that does the work. When someone copies us, we trust them more and like them more, without ever knowing why. We read the matching as connection. Fexius, who does this for a living as a mentalist, will tell you flatly that if you match someone's body and breathing, you can walk them somewhere they'd never have gone cold. It's not magic. Your brain just treats moves like me as is on my side. Forget the words. Watch the rhythm. So how do you catch it? Mid-conversation, do something small and a little random. Shift your posture, pick up your glass, change your pace. Then watch. If they shadow you within a couple of seconds, more than once, you're being mirrored. Real rapport doesn't track you that precisely. Manufactured rapport does.
Today, in your next sales conversation or negotiation, run that test once. Move and watch the echo. You don't have to do anything with it. Just knowing breaks the spell. The feeling of we click stops being evidence the second you can see where it's coming from. And one thing up front, I'm showing you this so you stop being the easy mark in the room, not so you can go run it on people.
Chapter 2, the word because.
Someone wants something from you and they reach for one little word. Can you send me that today because I'm really behind? Them being behind is their problem. It's not a reason you should drop yours. They just said, I want this twice, with a because wedged in the middle. And it works. Same move runs at the register. Add the protection plan, because it keeps you covered. That sentence says nothing. A protection plan that keeps you covered is just the words repeating themselves. Doesn't matter. The because already did its job.
Researchers tested this head-on, with people trying to cut ahead of a line. With a real reason, most of them got a yes.
Sure, no problem. Good luck.
With no reason at all, far fewer did.
No, I don't think that's fair.
But the part that should bother you is this. With a completely empty reason, a because followed by nothing that actually mattered, almost as many people said yes as when the reason was real.
Your brain isn't grading the reason, it's checking whether one is there. The word because flips a switch. Cialdini calls these click-whir patterns, automatic responses that fire before you've actually thought. Hand the brain the shape of a justification and it stamps approved. This is the whole game with most manipulation. It skips the part of you that reasons and goes straight for the autopilot. The counter is one question. Not, is there a reason, but is the reason actually a reason? We need to close today because the offer expires. Okay, why does it expire? You should agree because everyone else has. That's not a reason, that's a crowd. Say the word because back in your own head and finish the sentence honestly.
Today, next time someone hands you a because, repeat it to yourself with the words stripped out. If what's left wouldn't convince you on its own, the because was doing the lifting. Don't argue with them.
Chapter 3, the anchor.
The watch is normally 2,000, now it's 800. The consultant opens with a number so high you almost laugh, and suddenly the number they actually wanted feels like a gift. You think you talked them down? You didn't. They told you where to start, and you negotiate inside the box they drew.
Kahneman and Tversky showed this with something almost insulting. They spun a wheel of fortune, let people see a random number, then asked an unrelated question about the world. The random number dragged their answers toward it. A number everyone knew was meaningless still moved them. That's anchoring. The first figure on the table becomes the gravity the whole conversation orbits. Whoever says the first number is holding the steering wheel. Usually, it isn't you.
2 moves. 1. Decide your number before you walk in, and write it down so their anchor has something to crash into. 2, when they drop an absurd first figure, name it out loud, even just to yourself. That's the anchor. Naming it cuts the gravity.
You can't get pulled by a force you've already labeled.
Today, before any price talk, salary, a car, a freelance rate, write your real number down first, on paper. The anchor only works on an empty mind. Fill it before you arrive. Around the 2/3 marker, I'll give you the single defense that shuts all 7 down at once.
Chapter 4, the free gift.
The free sample. The let me just throw in this bonus. The financial guy who buys your coffee before he pitches you. It feels generous. It is generous. And that's exactly what makes it work, because now there's a small, quiet weight on you. You owe.
Reciprocity is wired deep. Every culture on Earth runs on it. Give and give back is how human groups survived. There's an old study where a guy hands someone an unrequested Coke, then later asks them to buy raffle tickets. The ones who got the free Coke bought way more, and the strange part? They bought more even when they didn't particularly like the guy. Didn't matter whether they wanted the Coke. What mattered was who handed it over first. Sometimes an unrequested gift is exactly what it looks like, and sometimes it's an invoice you haven't opened yet. This is the one philosophers warned about for 2,000 years. Seneca wrote a whole book on the politics of favors, on who you let put you in their debt.
The counter. Separate the gift from the decision. Accept the coffee, enjoy the sample. Then, in your head, draw a hard line. That was a gift, this is a choice, and they don't touch each other. Now, those first 4 you can mostly feel once you know them. The next 3 are different. The next 3 work better the smarter you think you are, because they don't feel like pressure at all. They feel like information. They feel like your own good judgment.
Chapter 5, scarcity.
Only 2 left. Sale ends tonight. 3 other people are looking at this place right now. The second something might disappear, you want it more, and you want it now, before you've even decided whether you want it at all.
There's a study where people rated cookies from a jar. Same cookies, but the jar with only 2 left got rated as more desirable than the full one. Nothing about the cookie changed, only the supply. We read rare as valuable and running out as decide faster. And the faster you decide, the less of you is actually in the room. Just the part that panics. Scarcity skips right past whether you want the thing. It jumps to the fear of losing it, and that fear feels exactly like wanting. The gap between those two is where they get you. Run one mental swap. Would I want this if there were 1,000 of them and the sale ran all year? If the answer's no, you don't want the thing. You're just scared of the clock. And manufactured clocks restart suspiciously often. The deal that ends tonight is usually back next week.
Today, when you hit a countdown, a timer, a last one, a this won't last, physically slow down, set the thing down, close the tab, give it an hour. Real opportunities survive an hour of you thinking. The ones that don't were never opportunities. They were traps with a stopwatch.
Chapter 6, social proof.
Bestseller. Most popular plan. Join 400,000 others. The little badge that says everyone else already chose this. And something in you relaxes. Because if everyone's doing it, it's probably fine. Right?
When we don't know what to do, we look at what other people are doing and copy it. It's an ancient shortcut and usually a smart one. Hotels figured out that a sign saying, "Most guests reuse their towels," gets more people to reuse towels than any plea about saving the planet. And in Ash's old experiments, people would call a short line long if enough strangers in the room said so first. We'll override our own eyes to match the group. Machiavelli said it cold. Men judge mostly by the eyes, by what seems to be true, and almost nobody checks past the appearance. Everyone's choosing this is an appearance. It tells you nothing about whether it's right for you.
Split the 2 questions social proof glues together. Is this popular, and is this good for me? Popular just means a lot of people had a need. It says nothing about whether their need is yours. The best-selling thing is often only the best market thing. Borrow their data. Don't borrow their choice.
Chapter 7, the small yes.
Nobody manipulates you with a big ask. They start microscopic. Just give me 30 seconds. Can I ask you one quick question? Just try the free trial, cancel anytime. You say yes, because saying yes is nothing. And that tiny yes is the hook. Everything after it is just them reeling you in.
Researchers went door to door, asking people to put a small sign in their window about safe driving. Tiny request. Most said yes. Weeks later, they came back and asked the same people to put a giant, ugly billboard on their front lawn. A huge number agreed, far more than the people who'd never been asked the small thing first. Why? Because once you say yes, you quietly rewrite who you are. I'm the kind of person who supports this. And then you keep acting to match the story, even when the next ask is 10 times bigger. The first yes was never really about the favor. It plants a label on you. I'm someone who does this. And everything after is just you defending the label.
Watch for the staircase. When a request feels suspiciously easy, ask where the top of these stairs is. Where does this lead if I keep saying yes? You're allowed to take the small yes back. Consistency is something you owe your actual values, not whatever story a stranger started writing about you 10 minutes ago. When you catch yourself agreeing to a string of easy little yeses, stop and name the destination. Then decide if you'd have said yes to that up front. If not, you were climbing without ever chosen to climb.
Not final, the master defense. Everything you just learned is the retail version, small scale. But before I talk about the main defense, listen to what's coming up in the next video. One person, one room, one yes at a time. 100 years ago, one man took these exact principles and ran them at industrial scale on a whole country. He made millions of women start smoking with a single staged photograph. He decided what you'd eat for breakfast, and you still eat it. He called it engineering consent, and we're all still living inside it. That's the next video. Once you see what he did, you'll never look at an advertisement the same way again. I'll see you there. The master defense.
So what do all 7 have in common? The mirror, the because, the anchor, the gift, the scarcity, the crowd, the small yes. Not one of them is aimed at the thinking part of you. Every single one goes for the automatic part.
Kahneman split the mind into 2. There's the fast one, instant, automatic, running almost everything you do. Basically a machine that pattern matches and fires. And there's the slow one, careful, lazy, the part that actually weighs things, and it only wakes up if you force it.
Now the uncomfortable part. Most of the day, the slow one isn't running your decisions, it's running your excuses. The fast part decides, and the slow part shows up afterwards to explain why the decision was smart.
Schopenhauer saw the same thing in arguments. People aren't trying to be right, they're trying to win. And the reasoning is just the costume they put on it. Manipulation is simply someone who learned to talk straight to the fast machine before the slow one clocks in.
Which means the defense is almost stupidly simple. It's the same one the Stoics teaching 2,000 years ago. Epictetus told his students to do one thing with every strong impression that hits them. Don't get swept along by it. Stop and say, you're just an impression, you're not the thing you're pretending to be. Then decide, that's it. That's the whole counter to all 7, the pause. They're not winning because they're smarter than you. They're winning because they got to you before you got to you. Every one of these tactics needs speed. The anchor needs you to answer fast. Scarcity needs you to buy now. The small yes needs momentum. Take the speed away, put a deliberate gap between the pressure and your response, and the machine has nothing left to grab.
The person who can't give you an hour was never offering you a real choice anyway.
You'll never outspeed a manipulator, and you don't need to. Being slower on purpose, right when they need you quick, is enough. So build a pause, one breath. Let me think about it is a complete sentence. Now you've got the wires, the mirror, the because, the anchor, the gift, the scarcity, the crowd, the small yes, and the one habit that cuts all of them. That's the problem with seeing this stuff. You can't unsee it. You'll catch it in a store this week. You'll catch it in your own mouth talking to someone else. Good. That's the point. Subscribe. Stay untouchable.